Okay, we're back with another discussion board. And for this one, I chose to do option 1, which was to choose 2 cultures to compare and contrast, then choose and analyze an example and discuss how these 2 cultures would perceive, process, or understand that event. Why would understanding how cultures perceive things be beneficial? So I chose this option because I spent 6 months in Kenya, in Africa, and me and my friends lived there and worked and did internships there in a little town called Mombasa, and it was so fun. It was one of the best experiences of my life, but I also feel like I learned a lot about culture and the Kenyan culture, which is very different from our culture. So for the specific example that I wanted to go over, which it seems so weird, but you'll understand as I explain why I chose this example, is a car wreck. So here, you get in a car wreck, and I feel like for the most part, most people in the car wrecks are both usually willing to work with one another unless it's like a severe case or something. And then you get the police involved if you need to, you get the help you need, and exchange information and move on. In Kenya, it's very different, and we learned to drive in Kenya. We didn't drive a lot, but we did drive like to close places. And there, in their culture, when you get in a wreck, this group called Mob Justice, I'm pretty sure it's just a group of random people that are out on the streets, but then they form and call themselves Mob Justice, and they come, and whoever caused the crash, so whoever hit a car or anything, and the streets of Kenya are crazy. If you have some time, search up Kenyan driving, you will die. But anyways, so if you get in a crash there, this Mob Justice comes after you and they start attacking you pretty much, and they just kill whoever was in charge of the wreck. It's the craziest thing I have ever seen, and we only saw it one time, but heard about it happening while we were there multiple times. But we did see it happen, like literally one time we saw a wreck, and this big group of people start rushing to the wreck, and then we went away because we were so scared to see what was happening. But that's just one thing I can think of for a specific example of how big of a difference the cultures are. And also there, another thing is that the police officers are bad. Like, you do not want to get involved with a police officer. One of my friends had, her grandparents lived there, and her grandpa did something, I can't remember, it was so silly, but the police officers saw that he clearly wasn't from Kenya, so they took him into jail and wouldn't let him out until he paid like 3,000 American dollars, which is like a lot of Kenya shillings, which is what they use to pay for things. And they wouldn't let him out. Their system's just very corrupt. And so those are just really big culture differences. And a specific example is the car wrecks with the culture difference, because here in the United States, like I said, unless it was like some crazy situation, I feel like no one would just go up to someone that got in a car wreck and start beating them to death, literally. So yeah, that was really interesting. But some of the main things, like the culture concepts, I would say, of Kenya that I noticed were hospitality. So like you go to someone's house or visit them, and they just want to host you. Like, they want to give you everything they have, the littlest amount they have, they want to give you all of it. And it's just really sweet, and they're really inviting into their homes. And I feel like it's kind of different from here. I know some people are very like inviting and want you here, but it's literally like everyone comes and gathers and eats, and it's really cool. Another thing also with that, with hospitality, is just like warmth. Like, the people there are so amazing, and seeing them in their own culture is so cool. Another thing that they really do is they have respect. They have respect for their peers. They have respect for people that come. They're just really amazing people. And they especially have respect for education, which is really, gosh, I don't know the right word. I mean, their education's like a really prized thing. Like, I think we learned there that if you get past 6th grade, you've moved on to like a higher education. And that's why their country struggles so bad, is because a lot of people don't have education. So that respect really plays into education. And if you have an education, you get respected like so much above all. And I think that is a little different than here. I know people that get higher educations are respected here, but it's a different type of respect there. So it was really fun to be in Kenya and learn all about their culture, and they are just friendly and respectful and love people. And but there's so many, I mean, I could go on and on about different things that they did there and we do here. It's just a really crazy cool place, and I feel really lucky that I got to learn so much and be involved in their culture and some of the things they do. They have a lot of tribes there, and each tribe has like its own thing that you have to do, and so that there's a lot of culture there. So it was really awesome. My questions for you are, what do you think is the most interesting thing about like American culture, or more specifically like Utah culture? What's the most interesting thing about that? And also, just kind of a fun question, if you could travel anywhere to see a culture, where would you go?